Howdy folks, Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer, and it's Beer 30. Let's go. So, for this edition of Beer 30, we are having a wheat beer, an unfiltered wheat beer here. It is made in Fort Collins, Colorado. The brewery is the Odell Brewing Company, and this particular beer is called Easy Street Wheat. And there's the label for you. For those of you that this may be your first episode of Beer 30, what I do is I have a craft beer that I choose at random and I try it on camera, give my opinion of it, and so forth. And I also pick a topic, a gaming topic usually, to discuss while I'm enjoying the beer. And hopefully, when you see that there's a Beer 30 episode, you grab yourself a beer or whatever beverage you prefer, and you sit down, and it's like we're having a beer together. So, and we're talking about whatever topic it is. Today's topic is going to be, I've been asked by several people to weigh in on the legacy server issue for World of Warcraft. And I do have, there's no shock there, I do have an opinion on this. So, without further ado, let's try this. And like I said, it's an unfiltered wheat. So, German style would be a Hefeweizen. And this is an American unfiltered wheat. And you can definitely tell the difference between an American wheat and, say, a Hefeweizen from Germany. There's some different, I don't know if it's the hops, I don't know if it's the wheat itself or whatever, but there's definitely a difference in flavor styles between a true Hefeweizen from Germany and an American wheat. They're both good, but you can definitely tell the difference. This is actually quite tasty. I'm not getting anything that's jumping out at me to say, oh, this makes this different. To me, this tastes like pretty much like if you've had Pyramid Hefeweizen, which is made here, or any of the other, a lot of the other American wheats. This is very similar. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if you said this was a Pyramid or some other, I'd probably believe you. I wouldn't even look at the bottle. So I'm not getting anything that's jumping out at me. It's delicious, but nothing that's making it unique for me. But definitely, as summer's coming around the corner, for some of you may already have summer there. Here in Utah, we still got snow on the mountains. So it was, a couple days ago, it was 40 degrees or something like that. So hopefully we'll get some summer here soon. Anyway, so let's move on to the, we'll continue our beverage in a minute, but for now let's talk about World of Warcraft, the legacy server issues. So, if you have not been following the story, in a nutshell, there has been a demand on the part of the player base for World of Warcraft to have what they call, they're requesting what's known as legacy servers. And what that means is that before all of the expansions occurred for World of Warcraft, they're getting ready to release their 6th in August. Before all of that, it was known as what we call now Vanilla WoW, meaning it was the World of Warcraft game before there were any expansions or anything introduced. And there are a lot of people who preferred Vanilla WoW. And they really want to be able to go back to that because there was nuance there was a lot of nuance to the game, and I'll go into a little bit of detail on that in a second. But it basically, was much more difficult, and therefore much more rewarding when you accomplish things because of the difficulty. Now it feels it's very much leveling couldn't be easier now, and I'm not a raider, so I can't speak about how the rating is now. I know how the rating was then. Rating was a bitch back in the day, and that's why I didn't do a lot of it, because you had to be hardcore to raid 40-man raids back in the day. Trust me, you had to know your stuff, or they would kick your ass right out of the raid. They wouldn't even play around. They'd be like, sorry, dude, you just ain't, your DPS ain't there, or your healing isn't there, or whatever. You can't tank, whatever, you're out. There was no messing around. So anyway, this all started with private servers. Now, private servers were people that were technically breaking the code of conduct or the rules and regulations for World of Warcraft, so forth. I don't know the legalities. I don't know if they were actually breaking the law, but they certainly were infringing upon World of Warcraft's copyright. Because what they were doing is they had servers out there, private servers, so people could go and play on those, and Blizzard was not getting any money for those people going and playing on those private servers. And they tolerated it, Blizzard did, for a number of years. Then recently, the largest server, private server, Blizzard finally issued them a cease and desist and said, you've got to shut it down. And they did. Because they didn't want all the World of Warcraft lawyers coming after them. So that started this whole thing about, well, if that's the case, why doesn't Blizzard start legacy servers for us so that we can just have the vanilla WoW experience that we wish we had? And that's what the private servers did. They were vanilla WoW private servers. And so now that that's all happened, the player base is really demanding it, saying, why can't you guys do this? Why can't you do this? And Blizzard has said, basically, they're saying it would be too difficult. They're giving all kinds of excuses. And my answer to that, in a nutshell, is bullshit. If you wanted to do it, you could do it. You're Blizzard. There's no game company on Earth that has the resources like Blizzard does. You guys print money. Okay, between StarCraft, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, and now Overwatch, you guys are able to print money pretty much, Now, I know that the WoW player, the subscription numbers are way down, and so the obvious question is, well, wouldn't that help their subscription numbers? If they created legacy servers, wouldn't there be a bunch more people that would subscribe? And the answer is yes. It would. There would be a lot of people that would go back to playing vanilla and subscribing, paying $15 a month. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of the people that's screaming for, legacy servers, but there's a lot of people out there. But, my actual opinion here is, I think they should, if they can at all, any way possible, create legacy servers for their player base, then they should do that. The player base for World of Warcraft has been very loyal. There's been a lot of people that have left, but there has been a very loyal, there's still 5 million subscribers, which is much more than any other MMO. And they've been very loyal for the past, 11, 12 years, something like that. And I think that if they can, they should. Now, whether they will or not, I don't know. They're talking about doing some kind of, what did they call it? They used a term like, I don't want to say pristine servers or something like that. They used a different term, an idea that they have where they could do servers where people don't have access to all of the buffs and leveling up perks that allow people to level so fast now, and so forth. And so it wouldn't really be legacy servers. They'd still have the expansions and everything in there, but they would take some features out that would make the game tougher again or something like that. And the players aren't buying that. They're like, no, we want legacy servers. That's what we're asking for. Now, having said that, Blizzard has responded recently in an article saying that it's very tough to keep everybody happy. If they do something, they fold to one group, then another group is unhappy, and so forth and so on. That is true, with the exception of this particular issue. This issue, if you created legacy servers, it would not affect anybody that didn't want to play on a legacy server. That's the grand thing about having different types of servers. EverQuest and EverQuest 2 have done what they call time lock servers. And what they do is they started with vanilla EverQuest or vanilla EverQuest 2 with no expansions and so forth, and then they take a vote on the community on when to unlock a particular expansion. And the players could say no to infinitum, to infinity. They could say, no, we don't want you to release an expansion, and it would just stay the way it is. And those are called time lock servers. So at least they're trying to do something to appease their player base with EverQuest and EverQuest 2. I have quit, now on a separate issue, I have quit supporting Daybreak Games, which was, formerly Sony Online Entertainment, for a number of reasons. And I've gone into that before here. I'm not going to go into it again. But the bottom line is I don't subscribe to any of their stuff. I don't follow any of their, I don't play any of their games for many reasons. I am cold turkey. I have nothing to do with Daybreak Games, and I won't have anything to do with them. But they did on this issue, they did do something for the players, trying to give them different servers. And it does not affect the other people that play on regular servers and so forth. So Blizzard, from that standpoint, if you can do it from a hardware standpoint, don't tell me you don't still have the code. There's no way in hell that you guys, when Cataclysm happened and changed the world and all that, there's no way you guys didn't keep the source code from the original Vanilla WoW. There's no way, I'm not buying it, bullshit, that you guys have the code. It may be costly to reenact it and put it back on the legacy servers or whatever, but don't try to bullshit us and say, oh, we don't have it, we shit canned the code. Bullshit. There's no way that a company like as well run as Blizzard is, there's no way that they just said, oh, it's gone. No, there's backups, triple backups, triple redundancies. They have the code, in my opinion. But anyway, that's enough of my rant. I hope the people that asked for this got what they wanted. That's my opinion. I think Blizzard should do it. I think it's the right thing to do, and I worked for a guy for years who taught me the importance of, when all else is, take everything else out of the equation. Take money out of the equation, take personalities out of the equation, take politics out of the equation, take everything else out, and then ask yourself, what is the right thing to do? Blizzard, if you do that, you know the answer. You know the right thing to do. Period. That's it. Rant off. Cheers. That's it for this edition. Not a bad beer. In my opinion, not a great beer, but a good beer. And nothing jumps out at me. So there you have it. All right, guys. We will catch you on the flip side.